Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. If you can't have Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford will do just fine, Perna. Adam Schefter and everyone else announced this weekend that quarterback Matthew Stafford and the Lions have agreed to mutually part ways, and that Detroit would start listening to trade offers for the QB, which means we may be entering a free agent quarterback shuffling period like never seen before. Deshaun Watson still wants out of Houston regardless of who they hire as head coach, and now allegedly prefers the Jets over the Dolphins because of Robert Saleh. You've got Dak Prescott in a cloud of uncertainty about his future in Dallas, Matty Ryan as a possible trade piece, Carson Wentz, Gardner Minshew, Mitch Trubisky, Ryan Fitzmagic, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton, Tua if Deshaun does go to Miami, and even Jameis Winston as players some teams may see as the solution to their quarterback woes. Today, though, I want to discuss the realistic destinations for Matt Stafford and why he is worth it. That's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's the only NFL YouTube channel that's going to show up when it feels like garbage. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports, and they are very excited, as am I, to help you whack off your nose and ear hairs with the new Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. Long nose hair, it's an issue for me. And it's a turnoff to 79% of partners polled. Plucking nose hairs is more painful than watching Detroit Lions football for the last decade. Fortunately, for your nostrils, Manscaped has the perfect whacking tool, a 9,000 RPM motor, a 360-degree rotary dual blade system that makes whacking nose hairs easier than ever. It's water resistant, so you can whack off in the shower without shame, and you can actually whack off anywhere with the Weed Whacker. And the lithium-ion battery lasts up to 90 minutes, ensuring you will always have enough juice to whack off nose and ear hair. To get 20% off and free shipping, use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports. So be a good sport and let me help you whack off your nose and ear hair. Let me begin by eliminating a team many think has a shot to land Matthew Stafford, the New England Patriots. I'm sorry, Pats fans, but playing for one of the most iconic dickhead coaches without any legit weapons on offense appeals to no one. Tom Brady didn't leave New England because he was excited about their future prospects. The Pats also just brought back Matt Patricia, who Stafford watched fail from the front row. And it was no secret that Patricia was not well liked in that locker room, and I just can't see Stafford being like, I'm finally free from the shackles of Detroit. Let me go get some more of that loveless Belichickian coaching style. Stafford needs to go to an already good team. If Tom Brady, who many consider the best to ever do it, not me, went to the most stacked offensive team available, then you better believe Stafford will follow suit. I will also be eliminating the Chicago Bears because the Lions would have to be very desperate to trade him within their division. And another team I will remove reluctantly is the New Orleans Saints. Why? They're fucking broke. They are a house-poor team who needs a year to get out of the red. They're $105 million over the cap right now. They couldn't afford to buy Matt Stafford new cleats if he needed a pair. I know the Chiefs turned $700 into contract extensions for Mahomes and Kelsey, but this is different. The good news for teams who know how to manage the cap is that Stafford will be pretty affordable for the next 2 seasons under his current deal. It's $20 million this season and like $23 million the next. By comparison, that's basically what the Broncos were paying Peyton Manning when he signed with them 10 years ago. So, Matthew Stafford, much better quarterback than I think he gets credit for. He's one of the best arm talents in the league, and that's according to me and Aaron Rodgers. People forget that football is a team sport and that a guy like Stafford has basically had one solid team in his 12 years in Detroit. He's never had a 1,000-yard rusher to help him on offense, and the one time the Lions had a top 10 rated defense, they went 11-5 and made the playoffs. Last season, Detroit gave up the most passing and rushing touchdowns. They were the worst defense in the NFL. So don't judge him by those wins and losses. Which leads me to my second point. Stafford performed pretty damn well when Detroit had a competent head coach, which is why I believe San Francisco and Indianapolis would be his two top landing destinations, and I think Stafford will have a big say in where he goes. This is not like what's happening with Watson in Houston. The Lions are ready to completely rebuild with the dude at head coach, and this is important because out of respect to Stafford, I think the Lions will be flexible in compensation for him, whereas the Texans will be looking for a Mel Gibson-sized ransom. People also like to call him Stat Padford, which is fair to an extent. Is it his fault, though, that the Lions always need to score a bunch of points late to have a chance at winning? Maybe some of the time, but his touchdown to interception ratio is great, and he, along with Aaron Rodgers, are the only quarterbacks to have over 45,000 passing yards and less than 150 picks. The best part about all of these Stafford trade talks will be the bad takes you see on Twitter. For example, Mike Kliss from here in Denver. Remember, Broncos land, Stafford has never won a playoff game. Broncos' previous vet QB acquisitions, Manning, Flacco, Keenum, Plummer, all had previous proven playoff records. Pound the table for Stafford if you want, but Peyton/Fangio teams probably face Stafford more than any other GM head coach duo, and then he gave a bunch of stats. Personally, I find Stafford's feat of getting the Lions to the postseason 3 times more impressive than Joe Flacco winning a Super Bowl. And the Case Keenum comparison is just low effort, backwards hat, Colin Cowherd level analysis. Stafford's better than those guys. The good point that Kliss mentions, though, is that Broncos head coach and GM will have a better evaluation of Stafford than anyone else pursuing him in the league. Plus, Denver can offer the 9th overall draft pick this year in trade talks. Again, I don't think that has as much weight as in typical trade scenarios, but if Stafford likes Denver as a destination, it helps leaving Detroit with the 7th and 9th pick to maybe make a move up if that's what they want to do. There are a lot of Broncos fans who don't think Stafford is worth the 9th overall pick. To that I say, there's not a single player in this draft who immediately improves your team as much as Stafford does, and that includes Trevor Lawrence. Now, that's not suggesting that Lawrence won't have a better career than Stafford, but you simply cannot draft 12 years of NFL experience at the QB position. Stafford is 32 years young. Aaron Rodgers is 37 right now, playing his best football. So I think expecting 5 solid years from Matt is reasonable. I'd take 4 to 5 years of top 10 QB play right now over all of the risks associated with drafting a rookie, which is why you need to consider which teams just need an upgrade at the QB spot to be contenders. So if I'm Stafford, my top destination is San Francisco. If Matt's wife didn't like the COVID restrictions in Michigan, I can't see California being a good family fit, but in terms of having a talented team and a top-tier head coach, this makes too much sense. The 3 things I think Stafford will value are head coach, team talent, both on offense and defense, and track record from the franchise in terms of drafting, free agency, and commitment to winning. Kyle Shanahan is a top 5 coach in the league, has a great relationship with GM John Lynch, and both of those guys signed extensions this year with the team, so there will be consistency there. The 49ers can run the ball with the best of them, protect up front, and should be back to dominating on defense when 1 million players return from injury. Having George Kittle to throw to should also excite Stafford. His second choice, though, should be the Colts. He's an improvement over Phillip Rivers, mainly due to his age. and willingness to extend plays when needed. He'd end up playing for the best offensive line he's ever had. Stafford was sacked 42 times this last season, Rivers just 21, so he can realistically half his yearly sack total, which I think makes injury concerns less relevant. Indy also offers an already very good young defense that might just be a top 5 unit in 2021, and a dome stadium if that's important to Stafford. His third choice should be my Denver Broncos. They're not as sexy as the 49ers and Colts, but do offer what could be a better group of receiving weapons. Courtland Sutton will return from injury. Jerry Jeudy should be better in year 2. Plus, you have tight end Noah Fant and speedster KJ Hamler, giving Stafford the most diverse set of ball catchers he's ever had, and an aggressive offensive coordinator in Pat Shurmur. The defense is good, but needs some corner help via the draft, and the line also good, despite questions remaining at right tackle. And yes, I think Stafford is better than Drew Lock, even if Drew Lock develops. The Washington football team also keeps getting mentioned. It makes sense for Washington. It makes some sense for Stafford with that defense and Terry McLaurin to throw to. Ron Rivera, also a well-respected head coach. But if I'm Matt, I don't even think about playing for Dan Snyder, even if I could be king shit in the worst division in all football. A sleeper team to consider, Carolina Panthers. They did just invest in Teddy Bridgewater, but it became clear this year he's not really the type of quarterback they need long term. Carolina had the youngest defense in the NFL this season, and it showed, but I like where they can go, and I like Matt Rule at head coach. And the receiving trio of Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel is appealing, although Samuel is a free agent. Then you've got Christian McCaffrey to throw in there. Bridgewater does have a $23 million cap hit in 2021, so their ability to move Teddy would be key in this scenario, and I'm not sure what kind of market is out there for Bridgewater right now. Many are also saying the Dolphins, and I don't think that's realistic. They've been linked to Deshaun Watson because he supposedly wants to play there. It's either his first or second choice at this point. He is without question a guy you give up whatever it takes to acquire. The Dolphins may not even be in a win now mode though. If they were, they should have never benched Ryan Fitzpatrick. Or they should have benched Tua down the stretch to get into the postseason. I think they will rightfully exercise patience with Tua and not make a move for any QB not named Watson in this free agency period. So, choose wisely, Matthew Stafford. And if you want to take just a minimal risk, choose the Denver Broncos. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. I'll have the best and worst of championship weekend up Monday. Like usual, gonna be some good games. Please let the Packers and Bills win.